For 5 years, I sent my parents $2,000 every single month so they could live comfortably. They told everyone I was their pride, their perfect son. But on my wedding day, I found out where that money really went and who they were helping all along. I didn't cry. I got even. Hi, my name's Ethan, and until recently, I thought I had the most selfless parents in the world. They raised me with love, made sacrifices, and always said, "We only want you to have a better life than we did." When I landed my first six-figure job in tech, I promised I'd take care of them forever. So every month, without fail, I sent them $2,000. They said they needed it for bills, groceries, and comfort. It made me happy knowing I could finally give back. Until my wedding day. Growing up, I was always the responsible kid. My older brother, Ryan, was the opposite. Lazy, broke, always blaming the world. When Dad retired early after a back injury and Mom stopped working to take care of him, I stepped up. I worked overtime, skipped vacations, and lived modestly so they could enjoy life. Every time I called, Mom would thank me. "You're the only reason we can sleep peacefully, Ethan," she'd say. Ryan, on the other hand, barely called. When he did, it was usually to ask for money. But my parents would always defend him. "He's just going through a tough time. You know your brother's not as lucky as you." Still, I brushed it off. Family comes first, right? Fast forward to my wedding day. Everything was perfect. My fiancée Lily looked stunning, the venue was glowing, and my parents were sitting proudly in the front row. Or at least that's what I thought. During dinner, I stepped outside to take a quick breather. That's when I overheard a conversation that changed everything. My best man, Mark, was talking to one of the waiters. "Hey, isn't that Ethan's brother? The one who showed up in a new BMW?" "BMW? My brother Ryan?" I walked toward the parking lot, and there it was, a shiny black BMW M4, license plate reading RYN-01. I laughed at first, thinking maybe he borrowed it. But when I walked back inside, I saw him, wearing a designer suit, gold watch glinting under the lights, and handing cash tips to the bartenders like he owned the place. Then I heard him bragging to one of my cousins. "Yeah, things have been good lately. Mom and Dad always make sure I'm covered." That's when it clicked. My $2,000 a month wasn't for my parents' bills. It was for him. After the wedding, I didn't confront anyone right away. I needed proof. Over the next few weeks, I reviewed every money transfer, every bill they'd sent me, and every excuse. One night, I called Mom and casually asked, "Hey, you mentioned needing that extra $500 last month for the electricity bill. Everything okay?" She hesitated. "Oh, yes, all fine now." But something in her tone cracked. So I visited their house, unannounced. When I got there, Ryan was living with them. Gaming setup, new phone, expensive sneakers, the whole package. And on the kitchen counter, my latest transfer receipt, printed and labeled "For Ryan." I felt sick. When I confronted them, Dad sighed. "Son, he needed help. You're doing well. Why are you so angry about helping your brother?" Because I wasn't helping him," I shouted. "You lied to me for years." Mom started crying. "We didn't want to lose either of you. Ryan just needed time." But it wasn't time. It was betrayal. So I left, quietly. No screaming, no threats. Just a plan. For the next month, I continued sending the $2,000, but to a new account I controlled. When Mom asked why the money hadn't arrived, I said, "Bank's doing some verifications. You'll get it soon." Then I started talking to my brother's landlord. Yes, the BMW wasn't his. Turns out he'd been months behind on rent, and his new job was a lie. I paid his landlord directly, not for him, but to own the property after he was evicted. Next, I made sure his gaming setup was repossessed. It was all on monthly installments. And finally, when my parents called begging me to help Ryan just one last time, I told them this: "You made your choice. You raised him to take and me to give. But I'm done giving to lies." They didn't believe me until they got eviction papers too. Turns out I had also bought their mortgage from the bank. I didn't kick them out. I just let them feel what I felt: alone, misled, betrayed. A year later, I'm married, stable, and expecting my first child. Mom still tries to reach out sometimes. I help, but only through verified payments for medical or household needs. No more blank checks. Ryan disappeared from social media. Last I heard, he's working minimum wage. I don't feel guilty, because this wasn't revenge out of hate. It was balance. Sometimes the people you trust the most will use love as a leash, and the only way to break free is to let go. Family isn't about blood. It's about respect. They taught me that family should never be about money. So I stopped being their ATM and started being my own peace.